wanted to go ahead and touch on the big topic that has been going around about Will Smith and Chris Rock. Okay, so y'all gonna have to help me out because I feel like I stand in between both. I don't feel as if one was right or wrong. I feel that when it comes to justification, I think Will Smith can justify himself of why he reacted the way he did, but also on the other end, it's just a little confusing as to really say if he was right or wrong. So taken from the standpoint of what we usually talk about on the Chill Chat channel, as far as communication, as far as transparency, honesty, and able to talk about difficult conversations, going from the thought process of that and then anger in general, my personal opinion is I feel like Chris was a little incompassionate with his statement, but I don't feel that he was trying to be malicious in any way. I say that because usually when a person is trying to be malicious or they're doing something with the intent to harm, when they're confronted with what they have done, they get really super defensive. And one thing, I did not see Chris get defensive even after the slap. Chris Rock was pretty much like, well, I just got smacked by Will Smith, and he kind of just like let it roll off. And some can justify that was immediately his conscience kicking in, or he immediately felt as if he did something wrong. But usually someone who have done something wrong maliciously, they would take the defensive route, and they would actually respond back in an aggressive manner. And Chris Rock, he did not respond in an aggressive manner. Another thing that I really wanted to say about the situation is the fact that Chris is a comedian. Everybody knows Chris as a comedian, and everybody knows that Chris Rock is going to make inappropriate jokes. It just doesn't matter. Like, that's been his thing for so long in his movies. When he is actually performing, he's always making inappropriate jokes. Some will either love it and laugh about it, or some hate it and despise it, but you pretty much know what to expect from Chris. And I feel like even though the statement that he made, the comparison that he made, was very insensitive, I don't think that it was out of character for Chris, because that's usually what he does. Now, some have taken the approach to say, well, Chris Rock and Will Smith are friends outside of them being celebrities. So can it be the possibility that Chris Rock knew of Jada Pickett's situation with her hair, and now we all know that she is battling with alopecia? Did he actually know? Because if he did know, then that would make it a completely different situation than the fact of him not knowing and simply making a joke. One thing about anger though, and this was kind of weird for me on Chris's end, and of course I've seen snippets and bits and pieces, and I also do know that people like to play around with things and insert things where they shouldn't be, or makes things seem as if it's much more than what they really are. But one thing that I noticed first was that Will Smith had laughed at either a statement or the joke. I can't be for sure. That's also another debate that's going on. Was Will Smith actually laughing at the joke before the offensive one, or was he laughing at the offensive joke? And just from the way that it looked, it seemed as if Will Smith laughed at the joke first, looked at his wife Jada, seen that she was offended, and then he reacted. Okay, in the name of you defending your family, I don't think it was wrong of him to want to defend Jada after he realizes that she is offended. But is it justified that the slap was literally the only way to be able to defend his wife? Also, one thing I was thinking about as story kind of unfolded and on social media and things like that, it was really interesting to think about anger in general. And I know that I mentioned this in the video before about how anger is a secondary emotion. And the thing that I want to take into account here is that some may have known about Jada Pickett's health issues, and then others may have not known. And this also goes for Chris Rock. So for them, and also we don't know the timeline in which she actually found out the news. Was this a recent diagnosis that she found out about? Has she been battling with it for a long time, and she's just now starting to talk about it? Whenever something is fresh, new, and raw, there tends to be a more intense reaction when it comes to that, because for one, sometimes you're operating in confusion, you're operating in fear, you're operating in doubt, you're operating in all these different emotions, anxiety, sometimes depression. Find out that kind of news. So whenever you find out news like that, your demeanor, your attitude, and your response is always more intense than it would have been if you have been able to process the news properly, or if you've been dealing with it for a long time and you kind of did some radical acceptance and accepted the fact that what you're going through is what you're going through. But if this is at the peak of them finding out that type of diagnosis, I can see why Will Smith will respond in the way he did. But also too, could there have been another way to respond? And I think that's really the heart of all that's going on in social media about this particular incident, is did he have to respond in that way? Now, another thing that I've seen circling around social media too is that, I'm glad he defended his wife. Black women need to be offended because hair has always been a really big topic when it comes to women of color. And although that is a really sensitive subject, still the question is raised, did it amount to the aggression that Will Smith showed? Another argument that I heard too that was interesting was, would it have made a difference if Jada Pinkett was the one to smack Chris Rock instead of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock? I mean, I still think it's the same, but the point I'm getting to here is that with anger being a secondary emotions, there is emotions that they were feeling before they reached anger. And depending on when they found out the news, if this is something that's raw, fresh, and new that's coming out within the family, then yeah, I can see why the immediate reaction was more intensified than a regular reaction to be, let's talk about it. Let me let you know that you cannot speak this way about my wife, instead of reacting in such an aggressive state. And so that was one of the things that I was thinking about, just thinking about anger and communication. It is a celebrity's decision if they want to reveal anything that is going on with them. They are in the spotlight enough. So for Jada Pinkett to keep that between her family, I think that's absolutely appropriate. I don't think that celebrities have to always disclose what is going on with them. But also, too, situations like this for Will Smith to act like that, I think it actually raised more attention to what she's going through than anything else. I mean, yes, defend your wife, but I feel like because he defended her, now is raising even more questions as to what is really going on with Jada Pinkett. Before this incident, I didn't hear anything about Jada Pinkett having alopecia. Could that be how often I'm on social media? Yes. How often I'm actually following them? Yes, it could be. But it wasn't until the explanations as to why Will Smith could act like that revealed what Jada Pinkett is actually going to. So sometimes acting in an aggressive state, it doesn't make it better. It actually makes it worse, because it just drew so much attention to them and the family. And now people are questioning, well, is that why Willow Smith, is that why she shaved her hair off to support her mom? Like that, now there's so many questions raised. And if he, in my opinion, if Will Smith would have just let that roll off his back, or had a private conversation with Chris after the Oscars, or different solution to that problem, it wouldn't have put so much attention towards Jada, which is exactly what she did not want. But now it's all out in the open. Now they're having to defend themselves even more. And I don't know, I just feel like the way that he responded caused more attention to the family than need be, which is exactly what she did not want. So can I say 100% he shouldn't have responded the way he did? No. Can I say that 100% he was justified in responding the way he did? No. All I can say is what I've said before, is being able to understand anger, being able to understand the root of anger, and being able to practice skills for you to be able to contain your anger, but also be able to defend someone at the same time. To defend someone does not mean that you have to defend them in an aggressive manner. And for some reason in our society, it seems like that is what it's come to. If I want to defend someone, it has to be in this aggressive, loudmouth manner type of thing. You know, we have more protests and everything now for the simple fact that people are literally thinking that to be able to stand up for something means acts of violence. And that's just not what it is. And that's what I really wanted to come on here and talk about, because I just thought that it was interesting. It's interesting that the worldview is that being able to defend someone is taking an aggressive approach, and that's just simply not true. But kudos for Will Smith, at least in his wife's eyes, being able to honor her in the way to make her feel safe and protected, because Jada, I feel like she didn't need that in that moment as far as feeling safe and secure. But they were at the Oscars, and I think I just think that Will Smith could have responded better. I think he could have responded in a more mature way. And I have to speak on the fact that the way that Chris handled himself in that situation was very mature himself. He didn't respond. Yet again, he made another joke. He still never acted out of character. And I'm not saying that Will Smith did, because we've seen times, or there's been times spoken of where Will Smith did get beside himself and respond in a negative manner. We've seen that on Prince of Bel-Air with Mom. I can't remember her name right now. Was it Vicky? I'm not sure. The first one who played her, to play the mom, the dark-skinned one. And he had that whole little episode where he apologized to her and things like that. So we've heard of Will Smith acting not in kind of an aggressive manner, but also too, it was in different time frames of his life, you know, so people do mature over time, which is understandable. But I just appreciate how Chris Rock responded to that situation. You know, he didn't make a mockery of the situation. He didn't make it any worse. He kind of just accepted what happened. And also too, yesterday, I don't know how many people seen, but I was actually shown through TikTok last night, and there was a TikTok that posted Chris Rock full apology to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett and to their entire family. He says that I realized that the joke was inappropriate and that it was insensitive, and I truly want to apologize. I don't know what else I can do to let you know how deeply sorry I am, but I do hope we can push past this. You know, that was the basis of it. Of course, there was much more into it, but when I was reading, I felt like it was very sincere. Once again, I don't feel like Chris acted out of character. Do I think he was insensitive? Absolutely, just because of the joke in itself. And you just never know what a bald head represents. A bald head represents freedom from some women, you know, not wanting to feel so attached to their hair, or it can represent health issues and things like that. It represents so many things, and unfortunately, Jada Pinkett wasn't just, I'm bald because I want to try something new. She's literally bald because of a diagnosis or a health condition that she has. So I just want to get on here and talk about that, just because, I mean, I feel like it was a good example of everything that the Chill Chat channel represents: being able to communicate properly, effectively, being able to manage your anger in the proper ways and things like that. So if you have any comments, leave them down below. If you have any great insight to add to what I've shared about the topic, that would be awesome. If you think that Will Smith was right or wrong, Chris Rock was right or wrong, put it down in the comment section below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. But until next time, you guys, hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Enjoy the weather. I am standing outside right now, actually. I know you hear the background noise, but I love being outside. It's so peaceful and so relaxing. Talk about anger. If you are angry, or to the point where you feel like you're about to explode, go outside. Be involved in nature, even if that's on a nature walk, if it's on a trail, a hike with friends or family, by yourself, listening to music, unplugging your music. Get out there and enjoy the weather. It will calm you down so much. All right, guys, bye.